I'm sharing with you how to take a huge leap forward in the organization of your business, saving you a ton of time and frustration. So the way that you set up your file structures and manage the online assets that you have in your company is going to make a huge impact on yourself, make things easier to find, easier to get to, plus have more privacy because you can choose what you share. And I'm sharing with you how to set up the whole folder structure, which will work with other, cloud-based systems if you want to use something else. But my personal favorite is Google Drive, and what I'll be sharing with you. And then I'm going to be sharing with you an automation. So make sure you stick around to the end because I'm going to share with you an automation of how to automatically set up file folder structures for your clients without even thinking about it. Have it done without you don't even need an admin person or anybody. So let's jump right in. All right. So in order to get set up, you're going to want a Google Workspace account. And there is the business starter, which will get you started. But the one that I would suggest is to get the business standard or above. If you already have it, great. The reason is you want shared drives for your team. So you want to have shared drives. Shared drives are essentially you can have different drives. Instead of having one drive and having all your folders inside that drive, you're going to want different shared drives because it's easier to share with specific team roles and members of your team, and jump into that right in a second. So this is how I have mine set up. It's going to look a little bit different for you because businesses are different, stuff like that. For contracting business, you may not have all these things exactly like me. And I'm going to be sharing with you in just 1 second, going through the whole thing of exactly which folders and which names and how to set them up. But the big things are you want to have them in numerical order. Your high level where things start is you're going to have, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I wouldn't have more than maybe 7 or 8 folders as your base because you want to have things very categorized at a high level. So it's easy to kind of jump into one thing. Plus, you're going to have these broken out by roles. So, clients are going to be able to access client folders. Human resources is generally going to be your admin team or your HR director. If you have projects and things like that, then it'll be your project managers. So that'll be the high level. And you're going to see here that these are all shared drives. These aren't folders within a drive. They're all going to be shared drives. You're simply going to right click new shared drive and you can add a bunch of new shared drives there. As far as searching, when you're naming files, I always want to put the client's name on files that are specific for a client or for an employee. The reason for that is because then I can quickly, easily search for that certain client or that employee or whoever it is, and it's really easy to find it. Another thing when you're naming certain types of files or folders is think about being a little bit redundant, but maybe naming things like, let's say you have a clients folder, you might want a clients and customers folder or something like that because someone else might search for that thing but use a different name. So you want to be thinking about that when you're naming files. Like, it could have a client portal or client dashboard, depending on your company or, who you are. It's the same thing, but you may call it something different. So you can have extra words in your titles, in your names, so that it's just easier to search for everybody. Pictures and photos is another one. Some people search for pictures, some search for photos, totally depending on who you are. So that's about it for that. Now we're going to jump into the actual sharing, folder setup. So each one of these top level ones, like this, this is how I would suggest it. So you got branding, marketing, sales would be like one of your shared drives. Then you've got clients and projects be another shared drive. Human resources, financials and legal, and then finally admin would be another shared drive. You could have your own personal shared drive or, have ones depending on what you do or what you think is best. But the less at the high level, the better. And then you can really broaden as you kind of dive into your file structure. Things like branding, marketing, sales, you might have like social media, website marketing, branding, marketing pictures. And then for clients and projects, this is an automation that I'm going to help you so you can set this all up. You just press play and it'll set up all these files and folders for you. So we'll be getting into that in just a second now. But these are the kind of the standard ones for clients. You're going to have client name and address again. So the folder will be the client's name and address. So you can find it either way. Plans and blueprints is, you can have your plans, you can have permits, client documents, and, pictures, general notes. You could have more in there depending on what you want. Does this make sense? Are you seeing how this could really help just bring structure and consistency across your organization so people know exactly where to find things, how to share things, all that different stuff. And with the Google Workspace, I'm not going to get into that, but there's a lot of options and settings you can set in there with different emails and some different roles and profiles of people in your business. So it's easy to kind of set someone up in a role so that they get shared with just the stuff that they should know about or have access to and not everything else. And that's the benefit of having shared drives over just your regular standard type of drives. So yeah, that's how you would get this all set up. Now I'm going to jump into the automations. So if you don't have a Zapier account, go get a Zapier account. For this specific automation, you will need a paid plan, although you can start using Zapier for free. You just can't do the multiple step automations that I'm going to show you here. But this automation, so you're going to have a trigger, and using contractor form in here, builder trend, you could use anything you wanted. It could be QuickBooks, whatever it is, whatever program that you're using. Whenever you create a customer, you're going to want this automation to start. So that's the trigger. When I create a new customer in this specific software, it's going to start this automation. So that's what I've set up here. You're going to have your trigger, customer created. You're going to choose your account in whatever software it is, and then you can test it. So that's pretty much it. You test it here, see what's going on. And then you're going to create a Google Drive folder, find or create folder in Google Drive. The reason you want to do find or create is because if there is already a folder for that customer, we don't want to be creating another one, because then you're going to have multiple different folders and things are just going to get messy, right? So this is going to find a folder. So when you're creating the folder here, you're going to want to use the first name, last name, address, city, and state. And you can pull all this information because you're going to have put that information into the contact already. And then it brings it in automatically. You're going to look for exact match. You're going to pick which drive you want to put it in. So in this case, it's going to be, the client drive is where I want to have it. You could also put it somewhere else. Parent folder, we're not going to have one. And then create Google Drive folder if it doesn't exist. It's trying to find this right now. If it doesn't find it, it's going to create a Google folder based off of this name. And again, you can always test them to see if it's working properly and everything's going good. And then I'm going to put a filter in here. So if it does not exactly match, because it's trying to find a folder, getting a little technical here, but it tries to find a folder. If it doesn't find a folder that's an exact match, then it's going to continue with the rest of this automation. If it does find a folder with the exact match, it's just going to stop the automation because to do anything else, because the folder's already been created. So that's why we have that filter there. Otherwise, it would just continue to do the automation anyways. So we put that filter in. If you have any questions about this, please drop comments below. I'll answer your questions and give you more like direct kind of details if you need the exact, steps or something's not working for you. Create folders and plans, blueprints. After that, then you're going to want to create subfolders. So we've got the client folder. Now we want to build these subfolders like we had over here. So we've created this client name and address, but now we want to build all these little subfolders as well. So that's what these automations are. So create folder, count, the action. The parent folder is going to be the ID of the step before. So that's what you're going to have to search for and find. And you can find that here. So if you just search, ID should come up, and you're going to want the ID from the step before. Again, if it's not working, test it out, see if it works, make sure it's actually doing what it should be. And so that's that. So then you'll create all the different folders, 1, 2, 3, 4, however many you've got. And then I'm going to want a general notes document as well, because sometimes, you're doing an estimate walkthrough or someone has an email, they can just drop it in here. So you can have a notes file, and this file you're going to create on Google Drive, and then you're going to just copy it. So that's why I have copy file. And on Google Drive, you're going to want to find the address. Again, getting a little technical here, but you can do it. I believe in you. You can get this figured out. And if you can't, ask for help, maybe from somebody younger or your admin or somebody else who's a little more tech savvy. So there is, some technical stuff here, but it's not too difficult to figure out. This is what we do. We set this up for clients and they don't have to worry about it, and they can just get through it. We also have SOPs and everything that goes through every step by step. So fill that out with the file. Again, you're going to copy the file ID from the actual Drive folder. So I would search for general notes doc, and then I would find the actual ID from the URL up on top here. Put that in there, convert to document, yes. And then again, you're going to name it general notes dash, and then always put their name on the file so that you can search for it easy. Clients, and then the folder, again, you're going to have to pick the ID from the folder that got created for the client, because you want it in that kind of parent folder there. And then we always do a what to expect document. So this is a document that goes to the client, tells them what to expect during construction, how our business operates, how we manage projects, software we use, all that kind of stuff. So just gives them a bunch of information. So again, we're setting expectations with clients, and this is what we give to our contracting clients for their clients. So again, whatever, you may have some other files, some general files. Maybe you have like an info file or a permit type file or something that you want in there for every single client. You just keep adding those on there. So hope that made sense. You can see after this is set up, it may take you 30 minutes, an hour. From now on, for the rest of eternity, you do not have to go through this process again. And this is just one automation. There's a lot of different automations you can do with Google Drive, as well as your email. You can filter emails so that, let's say you get a receipt, you can search for emails that have receipt in it, and it'll automatically get sent to accounting, or it'll automatically get put into a Google Drive folder. So you've got all your receipts there and you don't even have to think about it. It'll come in your inbox, mark it as read, it'll put it in Google Drive, and it goes to your accountant and you never even have to think about or worry about it. So really powerful automations. The last thing I'm going to mention, which is super important for Google Drive and really any files that you have with your company, is make sure that you're doing backups properly. So you want to be backing up your Google Drive, probably, I mean, quarterly would be nice, but at least semi-annually. Set a reminder somewhere, give it to your admin or whoever can do it for you, and have them back up the drive every quarter or every 6 months. Even though Google Drive is, very secure and is unlikely that you're going to lose files in there, but there's always human error. There's people that could delete things. There's people that maybe, something got shared and with you, and now it's not really owned by you. And that's another thing with shared drives, is when people share files with you, sometimes you'll just get like a shortcut to the file that's not actually a file contained in your drive. So if they go to delete it, or they change the name, or they unshare it with you, you no longer have access to it. But with a shared drive, if you put that file in your shared drive, or they share it to your shared drive, you now have like access and a level of ownership with that file. So getting to the backup, the best thing to do is to have a hard drive. You can get an external hard drive and just copy everything onto the hard drive. It takes some time depending on, the cable and everything you're using, but you set it, it goes for a couple hours, or, for me, I've got tons of videos, so it takes a long time, but for you, it may not be that long. Or you can use some other kind of services too that does like automatic backups and stuff like that. So make sure you're backing up. Hope that's helped you get organized in your contracting business. I'll see you on the next one.